Accreditation has turned out to be a thread that runs through just about everything we do.
We're making a real impact on the American landscape.
It's really about we're committed to these standards and we want to be leaders in our community.
As a landowner, it's really important to me personally that my land is protected. The fact that it's accredited makes me feel confident that all of that land is going to be protected in perpetuity, and that's a really good feeling.
The Land Trust Accreditation Commission is an independent program of the Land Trust Alliance.
What it means is that the Commission is actually a separate nonprofit corporation. Decisions are actually independent from the Land Trust Alliance's programs. We have urban groups that are protecting greenways. We have groups that are working on affordable housing. There are land trusts that have protected vast forest lands up in northern Maine. There's no standard size or configuration.
Hudson Islands Land Trust was founded 20 years ago. On the scale of land trusts, I'd say we're on the smaller side. We knew that bettering our practices would ensure the permanence of the land donations, land conservation that we're doing in the area.
Once the board learned how anxious the staff was to do it, the board was all too ready to say, yes, go and do it.
The Estes Valley Land Trust has been around for 20 years. This organization, up until right before accreditation, was run by volunteers. And over the course of the 20-year history, they started finding that they needed to adhere to the standards and practices for nothing else but enforceability.
Colorado Open Lands has been around since 1980. We're the third oldest land trust in Colorado. We hold about 220 easements around the state, totaling a little over 200,000 acres.
We encouraged the staff to seek the accreditation because we felt that not only would it help increase the leadership role of Colorado Open Lands in the conservation movements, but also it helps provide a framework for Colorado Open Lands to operate.
For Scenic Hudson, it really wasn't a question of whether we would apply for accreditation. It was more a question of when and how we would go about it. We're a regional land trust working between New York City and Albany.
We went through the whole assessing your organization process, which was very helpful to us. It allows you to hold a mirror up to yourselves and say, are you ready?
We really encourage applicants to call us as soon as they start thinking about applying for accreditation.
We identified a key staff person as a point person for accreditation and then worked through our work plans and made sure that we allocated what we thought would be sufficient time to get through the process in a timely way.
There's at least one staff person and at least one commissioner who actually look at and read through every single piece of documentation that's provided.
It was rigorous. And frankly, we were glad to see that. You feel good about going through that process and doing it successfully.
In retrospect, I think it's absolutely essential that they be rigorous and that they not deviate from the standard that everybody has agreed has to be met.
We had a phone call as part of the accreditation process, and it was one of the most thoughtful conversations I've had about our work.
We have commissioners with a broad set of experiences in the land trust community. They volunteer hundreds of hours of their time.
They bring with them a wealth of expertise and experience. They come from all over the country.
We have a provision on our standard materials that we present to the board that asks the question of ourselves, does this project comply with standards and practices? Are we acting in a way that's consistent with the accreditation that we received?
We're 46 years old, and the early days of Scenic Hudson, there's no one on the staff who was there then. And the accreditation document that we put together is kind of like the operations manual and history of our organization.
Internally, it will make your organization strong and you'll feel confident that you're complying with every standard and practice that's been issued.
The biggest single benefit, I think, is it made us think about what we do and how we do it.
The day we got the phone call that we had achieved our accreditation was quite a celebration.
As a team, our board and staff, and even those supporters that understood what accreditation mean, really embraced it and really rejoiced in our meeting the standard.
A sign went up and it said Accredited Land Trust.
Accreditation allows the land trust community to stand up and say, we're credible, we're accountable, and we're transparent. The benefits are really enduring.
things like accreditation are almost a necessity, I think, if you're going to call yourself a leader in the land trust movement.
In the end, it makes the land trust a stronger organization.
Whatever happens to the land after I'm gone could have been anything. And this gives me a sense that it will always remain in the pristine state that it's in right now.
I feel great that we're going to be able to protect this land in perpetuity. Forever is a darn long time.
I would say that there's never the perfect time to apply, and it's the kind of thing that it's easy to say, we'll do that next year because we're too busy this year.
Once you've figured out that it's going to be a tough thing to do, but it's a worthwhile thing to do, just get going and do it.